Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to build your own AI automation stack on your local machine. No cloud, no VPS. We're going to install n8n for workflow automation, MinIO for local S3 compatible storage, Kokoro for TTS or text-to-speech. We have NCA Toolkit for video and media processing. We're going to install Ollama for running your local LLMs. And we're going to install Open-WebUI for a clean AI chat interface. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete AI powered stack running locally on your machine for automated workflows, generating audio, and processing videos. Also, you can chat with your AI models. Right, so first what we'll do is we want to make sure that we have Docker installed. So if you don't already have Docker installed, you can head over to the Docker website, docker.com. And then you can go ahead and click on where it says choose plan. This will allow you to choose the free plan because that's what we're going to be using. Once you go ahead and choose that, you can click on download or get started. Once you click on get started, you'll have to go through a couple steps in signing up. So make sure you go through that flow. Now, once you have everything installed, you'll see where it says containers. So I'm going to go ahead and change the settings here to dark real quick, make it easier for these videos. And click on close. Now that we have our interface here, you can see there's no Docker containers running. So the first thing that we'll want to do, of course, is we're going to install n8n. I've included the GitHub here in the links below, but I'm also just going to include the Docker command that you can run in the Google Sheets that I'll have attached as well in the comment section below. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and run this Docker command that's going to allow us to install n8n in a Docker container on our machine. We can click on terminal, which will allow us to run this Docker command. One thing that you'll notice is the -v, and the -v allows us to mount a directory on our local machine that will help interact with the Docker container itself. So make sure that you update the -v entry to the directory on your local machine so that you can get that mounted properly. Once we have that done, we'll run that Docker command. Simply copy and paste it here in the terminal. And the -d allows us to run this disconnected, so it's not going to stay in the terminal when we run it. Perfect. Now it's going to download a bunch of things here for us. Once that's done, we'll be able to go ahead and continue on to the next step. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and install MinIO. MinIO is going to be we're going to use it like an S3 container, kind of like AWS, but stored locally here on your machine so that you can interact with it with n8n. So we're just going to go ahead and install that. I have another command that we're going to use for Docker. So same as before, we're going to want to make sure that we set up everything with the -v. This will allow us to have a directory on our local machine so that we can interact with the container itself. In the Docker command, you'll notice that it does have a username and a password. Feel free to go ahead and make changes to that. I'm just going to keep it as admin and super secure password here. We'll get that running. Once that runs, it'll pull down the container, and then we'll be able to log into that container by simply holding down the control and clicking on the URL. Or you can go to localhost:9001 and it'll bring up the interface as well. Now, once you have the interface brought up, simply just type in the username and password that you put in the Docker command. This will allow you to get logged in. And the first thing that we'll want to do is create a bucket So where it says to get started and create a bucket, we're going to go ahead and click on where it says create a bucket. And the first bucket that we're going to create, we're going to go ahead and name that bucket, all in lowercase letters, NCA Toolkit. And then we can just simply leave everything the way it is and click on create bucket. After we've created the bucket, the next thing that we're going to want to do is create some access keys, because we'll need that for the next steps here later on. So on the left-hand side where it says access keys, click on access keys. And then in the upper right, click on where it says create access keys. Now you'll want to write down these access keys in a location where you can remember it. So maybe open up a notepad and stick the access key and the secret key both in a place where you can access them here shortly. And once you have both of those copied down and created, you can click on where it says create. You can also give it a name as well. I'm going to go ahead and name it n8n. And then I'm going to click on create. Now, while we're in here, we're going to go ahead and create another bucket. We're going to call it raw-videos. Keep everything else the same and then click on create bucket. And that will allow us to have two buckets, one called NCA Toolkit and one called raw videos. Next thing on our list, let's take a look here, is Kokoro TTS. And what Kokoro TTS is, it is a text-to-speech application. You can think of it as an alternative to 11 Labs. So you don't have to pay 11 Labs to create voiceovers for you. This one will do it for you. And there's a great long list of different male voices, female voices. They have many different languages that you can choose from as well. It's very exciting and it's going to be very useful for you as well. So I have another Docker command that we're going to run. It's very simple. Just run this Docker command. And then once that's ran, it'll download and pull a bunch of the needed models. And you'll see that it'll pop up above, indicate that it is running. There is a web interface that you can interact with that will allow you to check out the different voices. So let's go ahead and visit that URL real quick and let's take a look here and see what this sounds like.
You can use this as a free version to add text to speech on your videos.
Okay, doesn't sound too bad at all. This looks like it'll work for us. And then, like I said, it's an alternative to using 11 Labs. Okay, next up, we're going to install the NCA Toolkit. This is going to be a very useful item, especially if you're going to be using it for text overlay on your videos. It's a great way to simply call the API and automatically put text overlay on your videos. It's really nice. So let's go ahead and get this installed. I have another Docker command here that we're going to run. Before you run this Docker command, make sure you edit two sections. The first section is going to be the access key and the secret key. So the access key and the secret key were keys that you made in step 3 when you were setting up MinIO. So be sure to update this Docker command with the access key and secret key. And once you have that done, go ahead and put that Docker command here in the terminal. Click enter and watch it do its thing. Once that's done, it takes a few minutes. It's got to download a couple things. It's got to download a few of the models that it's going to need for the various tasks that it can do. So it may take a little bit depending on your internet connection. And once that's done, you'll see it'll pop up above under the containers that are running. Now there is no interface that you can connect to, so it's only API. There is some documentation in the GitHub, which I've included also in the documentation. So make sure you check that out so that you can know which APIs to call. Now we're going to go ahead and install Ollama because, again, why pay ChatGPT to do something for you that you can do locally? Go ahead and head over onto Ollama.com and go ahead and download the version that you need for your OS. For me, I'm using Windows, so I'm going to go ahead and click on download for Windows, and I'm going to install it. Now, once I have it installed, the easiest way to interact with it is to install Open-WebUI. So we're going to go ahead and go over to the GitHub page for Open-WebUI, and you can see here there's a bunch of information, so check that out. And then from there, we're also going to grab the Docker command that we're going to use. So again, in this, you're going to want to make sure that you update the -v section of the command so that it is local to your machine. I have mine set on my E drive under Docker, and that's where it's going to hold the Open-WebUI information. Once you have that done, go ahead and put that command in the terminal, click enter, and watch it do its thing. It's going to pull down a bunch of information and get that installed. Next, you can visit localhost:3000. You'll see that it looks very similar to ChatGPT. You'll want to create a name, an email, and a password. Now, this does not connect out to the internet, so it's just a way for you to log in locally. Once you have everything done, you can go ahead and start chatting away. Now, I already have some models downloaded, so I'm going to go ahead and just choose Llama 3.1, and we'll give it a simple command here. We're going to ask it something very, very basic. Give me the discography of Ozzy Osbourne. Break it down from Black Sabbath and solo albums. We'll see how long this takes. Well, that was pretty quick. Looks like I got all of them here from Black Sabbath all the way down to his solo albums. Very nice. And if you click on the little icon, it tells you the information about how long it took, the response time, response tokens. Very quick. Very quick. All right, let's take a look and ask for something else here. We can just continue by clicking on the follow-up question, and it gives us more information about that. Let's click on another follow-up question. And let's try something different here. We're going to go ahead and say, can you write me a short story regarding the history of the Tootsie Pop? Keeping it simple and comprehensive to where a 5th grader can understand. And there you go. Quick little story of the Tootsie Pop. Perfect. All right. Looks like we got most of the things installed. One other thing here too, if you are going to want to use Ollama with creating images, you can head over to the admin panel by clicking on the icon in the upper right hand corner, clicking on settings, and then going to images. And then you'll have to click on the drop down and choose either Comfy UI or Automatic 1111. Now you'll have to set those up as well. So Automatic 111 is Stable Diffusion. You can go ahead and install Stable Diffusion, or you can also install Comfy UI. Those will be other videos that we can have later on. But for now, that's how you would add images if you're using Ollama. One final thing that I'd like to add is installing ffmpeg on your n8n connection. This is going to make things a lot easier. So what we want to do is we want to head over to Docker, and we want to go ahead and find the container ID for your n8n instance. Simply just click on the little icon to the right of where it says container ID. That'll copy it into your clipboard. And in the terminal down below, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and enter this command here. Docker exec-it-u root. And then you can paste the container name that we got from up above. And you want to do apk add --update and the following command, which again I'll have in the documentation as well. You can copy and paste it. What this will do, this will install ffmpeg onto your machine. And then finally, one last thing I'd like to install also is a program for downloading YouTube videos, and that is called yt-dlp. So get that one installed as well. Okay, that's it. Looks like we got everything installed and your AI automation stack is live, running fully on your local machine. You can now automate workflows with n8n, store and retrieve data with MinIO, convert text to speech with Kokoro, and process videos with NCA Toolkit. You can also chat with AI using Ollama and Open-WebUI. If you found this helpful, be sure to like and subscribe for more DIY AI builds.